I just have to respond to one question, and that is the question of why are human rights defenders at risk? And I think the most important thing is to realize that human rights defenders always and often raise issues that are connected to the powerful systems of a nation. And especially when a human rights defender raises the voice of a community over natural resources, for example, then it is definitely clear that that particular human rights defender is going to be at risk. For instance, let's address the issue of forest, which is one of the areas that I work with. And in the forests in Kenya, we have sections of the forest they call plantations, and these plantations are managed by the government because, of course, the government manages the forest system in our country. Now, when it comes to harvesting the products from the plantations, then who gets the concessions? Who gets the licenses to clear the forests? And you often realize that communities that actually live adjacent to the forests are excluded from any benefit from the forest. And often it's the big shots, the big business people, people who are politically aligned that often benefit from such resources. So when you raise a voice and you have a stand that the community needs to be engaged. In fact, our constitution is very specific that for any development agenda, for anything that has to be done, then there must be what we call public participation. And often communities are still being excluded from public participation and from participating in issues that contribute to their development agendas. So when communities are excluded, at the end of the day, of course, it's going to be a complaint because then the communities won't benefit. Somebody else will definitely benefit. And when a human rights defender raises a voice and makes a stand that no, this should not go on, and the community must be involved, and was the proper procedure followed, then the people who have put in a lot of money in these companies, and they are looking at the gain. Like, for instance, our plantation was worth 1.2 billion Kenya shillings, and the issue had already been taken to parliament, and parliament had discussed that issue. The felling of the trees had been stopped, but still logging was going on. The trees were being cut down. So when you raise a voice in such an area, then the next thing that happens is you're threatened. Stop. You cannot do this. Don't go to court. Can you stop the court matter? And when you remain on your stand and you say that no, involve the community. If you have to raise any issues, then come to the community, explain to them. So the next thing, they want to get rid of you because they see you as the person who comes in between their profit, yes, in between their profit and the money they have invested. They see you as a barrier. So they want to get rid of you, silence you, kill your work, yes, and they go on with the economic violations against communities. That is one reason. Another reason is that you're stepping on the big people, like the people who have, what it takes in the society, the people who have set their systems rolling, and they are wondering, why are you coming to shake up their system? They are already so used to this, and nobody tells them no. They are politically aligned. So who are you anyway to raise your voice? That's another major reason why human rights defenders are targeted. And for human rights defenders, it's the voice behind the person that wants to be silenced. It's the work of the human rights defender that is a target. That is the threat. Actually, it is not the person per se, but you cannot have a voice without the person. And that's what I call the vessel carrying the voice. That is usually the target, because then when they get rid of the vessel, then they are able to continue with their activities. Yes, and that's why human rights defenders are targeted.